Becoming the founder that your Shopify store needs in order to grow to the level you want to isn't easy, but it is absolutely possible. In this video, I'm going to break down for you how that happens and some of the things you need to look out for on this journey. Hi, my name is Joe and I run this Shopify focused YouTube channel. All we do is talk about how we can help you grow your Shopify store past $1 million a year. The ideal person who watches this channel is already doing around 5K a month and is looking to scale profitably past $1 million a year. And if you like growing your Shopify store, you love e-com, you love learning, well, you're in the right place. Because in this video, I'm gonna break down for you how to change your mindset around growth and become the founder that your Shopify store demands of you. So in this video, I'll be screen sharing. I'll be going through a presentation I prepared. And if you like this type of stuff, you'll definitely love sitting down with me, working one-on-one for free for 5 days. I'm offering 4 spots a week right now to work with me one-on-one for 5 days for about an hour a day. And by the end of that, you'll have a predictable, profitable plan for growing your Shopify store past $1 million. And don't worry, if you're already past that $1 million mark, I do allow you to come in as long as you're not like doing 5 or 10 million plus. That's a whole different type of business with different set of problems. And I've designed this challenge for helping 100 stores to break $1 million within the next year. So that's really my goal, is to help you guys to break $1 million in your Shopify store. And assuming from that, you'll be able to take home around 200 to 300K in profit, all the way up to 400 or 500K. So let me know if you have any questions throughout this video in the comment below. Look forward to serving you all. Peace.
All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about how to upgrade your identity as a Shopify store owner. If this is your first time on my channel, just know that my name is Joe Chavez, and all I do is talk about how you can break your first $1 million on Shopify. So if you are already past $1 million and you want to stick around, go ahead. But this channel is for people who are looking to break their first $1 million. So I want you to see in this video how you can transform yourself to unlock the growth in your Shopify store, because nothing really happens in your store until you level up. Now, the real unlock isn't actually ads. A lot of people think that running paid is the unlock, and I can tell you firsthand, I've managed over $500 million in meta spend. I then acquired a Shopify store, and then I realized that's not going to do it. I thought, knowing that all of that knowledge, a lot of times we think like if we seek the knowledge, then we'll be so good that it will just naturally happen for us, and kind of whatever we want will come to us. But I found that that's actually not true, because if that was the case, then anybody who worked at an agency would automatically be able to run a successful Shopify store, and people would then go to agencies or work at other brands and then run their own brands. Well, that does happen at times. It doesn't happen for everybody. And the real unlock is identity. Identity meaning like this is how you operate. And how you operate is going to determine how fast you can grow. And in this masterclass, I'm going to walk you through how to grow faster, more profitably, and without burning out. Because the reason most people quit is because of one of those 3 things. There are something like, of all the Shopify stores, I believe like 99% of them are under, or no, 95% of them, I just heard the stat the other day, are under, have never even made, like don't even make like 10K a month, or let alone $1 million a month. And $1 million a year. And so in order to be able to grow past that $1 million, the key is to focus on you as the individual operating the store versus just tell me what I need to do so I can do it. We're going to talk about the gap between where you currently are and your next level. So let's talk about that, because here's the hard truth. You are already capable of the results you want. You're simply operating from an old identity. So let me say that again. You are already capable of the results that you want. You're just simply operating out of an old identity. The operator loop is basically managing fires, chasing dashboards, fighting churn, trying to be everywhere at once. And the man who chases 2 rabbits catches none of them. So the paradox here is that the business you built to create freedom for you is actually the thing that you put your identity in, and you must personally control everything to keep it alive. And it's a hard thing to realize when you realize that I have built this trap and this sinking ship that I am sitting on. I know I've felt that personally at times. We're operating my Shopify store. It's thewordytraveler.com, because I know people always end up wondering, like, what's the store you operate and talk about? And I remember sitting in the room behind me, actually on the other side of this wall, and thinking, should I just shut this thing down because this is not working in the way that I thought it would? And I had to start looking at some of the numbers a little closer and really take a step back and say, maybe I'm not as good of a marketer as I thought I would, just because I had managed a lot of spend. I didn't truly understand at the time the operating complexities of the Shopify store in a business, and had to humble myself. And it's made me a better operator because I've spent a bunch, but now I understand how to really drive that spend and when to push and pull based on the actual conditions of the business. So all this to say, there's misalignment at the end of the day, and your current identity isn't wrong. It's just misaligned with where you want to go. So a lot of times we're operating out of the identity that we have from the past and trying to get results that we want in the future. And so the same identity, to put it plainly, is like the same identity that built you to 50K a month is not the identity that will take you to 500K. Or it's, the same identity that got you to start your store is not the same identity that's going to help you make your first 10K a month in the store, and then ultimately to that 83,333, so you can get that $1 million year. The identity that hustles is not the identity that's going to be able to scale. And it breaks down like this. You have one, it's the identity, that's your root. Two is going to be, think of it this way, the branch is your behavior, and then three is the results of the fruit. So a lot of times we just see someone else and we go like, I want the fruit that they have. And in order to get there, you actually have to go through the process that they've gone through. You have to go through doing the work, and that takes time. There's no easy way to say it. There's no shortcut to it. That takes time to be able to get to that place that you want to go to. But it is possible. And that's the best part, is it is very possible. And so these are the three identities, like as I see them, of a scaling Shopify founder. Now, number one, we have the architect. So this is the version of you that designs systems instead of solving small problems. You look at your business like this. You have like offer, acquisition, conversion, experience, retention. And that's really the phase where you say, okay, what are my unit economics? What's my contribution margin on the first order? Meaning, what do I spend? What's my price minus what it costs me to deliver that to the customer, minus what it costs for me to advertise to get that customer, and what is left over there. And that's the offer and retention. Is there any ways I can make my offer better to improve that? And you begin to learn how to work through those elements, and then getting into conversion, getting into experience of your product. So once they get the product, how do we really make that something memorable for people? And then we have the last piece, which is retention. And you go basically into this mode where you're not reacting anymore, but you are structuring, and this creates this identity creates clarity and consistency, which are two amazing things. Now, the next piece is we have the investor. Now, this is where you treat your time like capital, and you start optimizing for profit and margin and recurring revenue and subscriptions. And the store I actually acquired was a subscription business because I knew just how much better the business model is when you have subscription and how much you can spend to get a customer versus if it wasn't subscription, right? My conversion rate might be higher, but I would have less gross profit. And that's such a big piece, and that's a whole nother video in itself. If you like that type of stuff, make sure to subscribe, because I have tons of videos on that type of stuff here, especially as you're going to that road of breaking $1 million a year. I think sometimes people get it wrong. They think when I break $1 million a year, then I'll go ahead and add on subscription, when the easiest path to get there without running out of money or burning out or just completely working harder than you have to is by adding subscription in the beginning and creating a business model that actually lends itself to allowing you to spend more money to acquire a customer. Now, this identity forces you to make decisions that compound. Lastly, it's going to be the storyteller. This is like the quintessential CEO who you normally would think of. This is the identity that shifts your brand from transactional to magnetic. And this is where you speak like a founder with a mission, not a product with a pitch. This is where you go from creating belief, not just content, and you're actually transferring the belief that you have about your product, which cannot be manufactured. It must be genuine. And I think sometimes people, especially drop shippers, think that it's just as long as you do what another brand did, you'll get what another brand has, when really a lot of times the things you see are like in an iceberg method where you're seeing a little bit on the surface, but a lot of what's happening is below that surface. And you share why the brand exists, who it serves, the problem it's here to solve. The identity increases conversion and retention without spending more. And so this is where you can start to see, like, as you change as a founder, your decision making improves. And as your decision making improves, ultimately your business improves. And that goes back to that analogy where I was showing you here on the bottom. The identity is the root, the behavior is the branch, and the results are the fruit. And it's really cool when you get to that place, because it's kind of where you've imagined you would be as in the business, but when you first started, and it just takes longer than you think to get there. And so if you want to grow faster, these identities, this is important, right? Like, these must be your normal, not a weekend inspiration or something that you feel after watching this video. But it truly has to become how you operate and how you live as a human being on planet Earth. So here's the 5 belief shifts that change everything, in my opinion. So we have revenue. Profit is more important than revenue. We have subscriptions are your freedom engine. Your energy is your highest leverage asset, and then your audience wants leadership, not perfection, and you are allowed to build a business that feels light. So let me explain what I mean with all of these. So change the beliefs, and your identity upgrades automatically. So our identity is tied really closely to the things that we believe. If I believe that I could not do YouTube, I wouldn't be here doing YouTube. If I believe that I don't have anything to share and I don't have any information to bring to the table, I would not be making these videos. And you may also be in the same boat as me, where you have done a lot of great things and you are capable of being the operator that your Shopify store needs, but you're just not stepping into that yet. And I was there for a long time. I know I was there creating content. I know I was there helping brands, even owning my own brand. It took me so long and so much ad spend to even say, I'm going to acquire my own store to operate it, because I always had this assumption that there's all these things that I don't know about, when in reality, I will know about these things as soon as I step into that position. And that's the same thing for you. So knowing that profit is more important than revenue, and just accepting that automatically changes your mindset around the decisions that you will make. Now, you'll stop chasing these short-term wins and these vanity metrics, and you'll actually build long-term sustainable revenue and a business that you're proud of. Subscriptions are your freedom engine. The more recurring revenue that you do build, the more predictable your entire life becomes. And I can attest to this. Being able to go into recharge and see, like, here's the revenue that's coming in for the next month, it's life-changing, versus running a business where you're like, hopefully my ads did good yesterday. Hopefully that piece of content did well. You're actually building something where when you get a customer, you know that you have a 50% chance at least that they're going to be on another month or quarter with you, and you're going to not just get the money you saw hit the account today, but money to come in the future as well. Now, the next one is your energy is your highest leverage asset. Now, this one I think is so important for so many reasons, but the main thing is, when you're saying yes to everything, when you stop saying yes to everything, you'll stop waking up super reactive. You'll stop waking up wondering like, oh man, what do I have to respond to today, and go in that direction of, and you'll have hours for your best work. I know for me, it took a long time to be able to carve out time to even make these videos. And it was because I would always say yes to anything that came my way versus saying, I'm going to step back from doing some other things I was doing and actually focus on helping you all. In addition to running my own store and consulting with a couple brands. Now, your audience wants leadership. Number 4, your audience wants leadership and not perfection. Once you understand this, you start sharing more, connecting more, selling more, because you're actually becoming human again. You're okay with driving your business without feeling like you have to know everything or be perfect. And keep in mind, some of these may just come natural to you and you may not struggle with them, but I bet one of these hits you right between the eyes. Now, you are allowed to build a business that feels light. Not everything has to be difficult. Not everything requires force. Growth can truly feel calm when your identity is aligned. I know this firsthand. I mean, this year, I had the opportunity to potentially take a really lucrative role in 2026 to head up e-com for a really big technology company, and they sell a bunch of gadgets and a really cool brand, and they have like an $80 million P&L, and I could run and operate that brand. But my identity being somebody who wants to help 100 stores break $1 million a year and be able to work directly with founders, well, that's a different identity than that role would be able to bring to me. And everything becomes super clear when ultimately I know what I want and my family and I are all aligned around the same goals. I want to be able to work from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and ultimately not work to live instead of living to work. Now, that doesn't come natural until you have kind of decided like, this is what I am going after. So let me go on here, and the identity installation process. I'm going to go ahead and close my window here because I realize I'm frozen, but that's all good. So upgrading identity is simple when you follow this 3-part process. We go from awareness, where we identify what's holding us back. Then we go into alignment, and we say, okay, we're choosing, okay, where do I want to go next? Do I want to go into the architect, the investor, or the storyteller? Write down how this identity thinks and acts and decides and spends time, and then align your calendar to match it. Identity becomes real through repetition. And then every week you're going to collect evidence that makes this identity real. Every subscription improvement, every system we're building, every team relationship and hire we're making, your brain rewires itself through proof, not pressure. So we start by naming the gap here. We then go into identifying through repetition that, hey, I can do this. And then your brain rewires it through proof. And this is ultimately the fastest path to becoming a founder who grows predictably and calmly. And I want to leave you with one last thing, the daily identity practice. So make this simple, make it 5 to 10 minutes in the morning. Think, okay, what identity am I operating from today? What's the one action that matches that identity, and what needs to be removed so I stay in alignment? It takes a couple minutes, but it does shape the next couple hours. And as you begin to go through this as a Shopify store owner and operator of a brand trying to break $1 million a year, you're going to see the changes, and you're going to see your business reflect who you are, because ultimately there is this leadership lid that nobody talks about. And that leadership lid keeps us from becoming who we could be, and our business from becoming what it could be and who it could serve. So if you found this helpful, let me know in the comments below. And if you do want me to chat with you about your store, I am offering a couple spots right now where you can hit the link down below and book a time to chat with me for 15 minutes to see if you would be a good fit for joining the 5-day challenge, where I will walk you through my predictable profits challenge for your Shopify store to find what's stealing your profit in your Shopify store. Now, it is only for stores already making over $5,000 per month. So you have some sort of product market fit, or you're doing something. I don't do this with any stores who are brand new and don't have a product, because I want to work with people who are serious about growing their store but just feeling a little stuck. So go ahead and hit the link below if that's you. I'd love to meet you. Let me know that YouTube's sent you, and look forward to meeting you. All right. And if I don't hear from you, make sure to double or nothing. Peace.